Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Josh, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Citi Shop Your Way Mastercard. So I'll be going over the main features of this card, its pros as well as its drawbacks. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a much better idea of whether or not this credit card is a good fit for you. But before we go ahead and dive into the main features of this card, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. Okay, so diving right into the main features of the Citi Shop Your Way Mastercard. This is one of the lesser known credit cards out there, maybe one of the most underrated cards. So we're going to start this video out by going over the cash back that you can earn with this card in each category. So you will be earning 5% cash back at gas stations, 3% cash back at grocery stores and restaurants. Now keep in mind, in those three categories, the gas station, grocery store, and restaurant category, you will only be earning the 5 and 3% cash back on the first $10,000 in combined transactions in those three categories across the board. Then after you eclipse the $10,000 mark, if you do, then anything above that will only be 1% in cash back. Then on top of that, you're also going to be receiving 2% cash back in points on eligible purchases at Shop Your Way merchants, and then on all other transactions not in those categories that we just listed, you will be earning 1% cash back. Now with this card, you can also earn a spend bonus as well. So the spend bonus is going to be up to $225 in statement credit. So basically how it works is that you will be receiving $75 in statement credits for every $500 that you spend within the first 3 months of having this card. That's going to be up to $225 total. So if you spend $500, you're going to be receiving $75 in statement credits. If you spend $1,000, you're going to be receiving $150 in statement credits. And if you're able to max it out and spend the entire $1,500 within the first 3 months, in that case, you will be receiving the total, the maximum that you can receive, which again is $225 in statement credits. Now with this card, you can also receive some other perks as well. So just for example, you will be receiving a $0 liability on unauthorized charges. This means that if someone steals your credit card and goes off and spends in person or even online hundreds or even thousands of dollars of transactions, thankfully you will not be held liable to pay for those because you did not authorize them. Then on top of that, you're also going to be receiving price protection, extended warranty protection, and identity theft protection as well. So at this point, you might be wondering, like, what is so great about this card? Sure, you are going to be receiving the 5% cash back in gas, which is pretty great, and then up to $225 in spend bonuses. But is there anything that really makes this card stand out above all the others that I have to choose from? And really what makes this card stand out are the targeted offers. So with different credit cards, you might get like an email from the credit card provider saying that if you spend this much money, you're going to receive like a bonus of this. Well, this card is actually known for it. The Shop Your Way credit card is known for targeting their card users in the form of an email with different offers. And sometimes you get multiple offers at the same time, which are going to be stackable. So we're going to be going over one offer that had been sent out in the past to one credit card user. This example is from the moneyninja.com. So one of the targeted offers this person received is that they were able to earn 20% in statement credits on utility purchases each month for 3 months, with the max credit being $75 each month. Now, you might be thinking to yourself here, like, sure, this could be great, but I really don't spend that much on utilities. Well, one thing that you could possibly do to really max this out is that you can actually overpay on your utilities. So for example, if you have an electric bill of like $80, you can overpay that, paying like $200, for example, and then that would just be a credit on next month's bill. And then you can keep overpaying and overpaying for the first 3 months to make sure that you max that out. Now, the second offer this person received was to be getting 10% back in statement credits at gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants as long as you spend at least $400 in 3 months, and the max credit in this case would be $150. Now in this case, you might be thinking, well, this is great also, but I really don't spend that much money on gas. Maybe you work from home, you don't have a commute. Maybe you don't spend that much on groceries because you're single, you don't have anyone else in your household, and maybe you really don't go out to restaurants all that much. Maybe you cook most of your meals at home, so you're really not going to be able to take advantage of that credit. Well, in this case, one thing that you can kind of do to hack this is when you go to the grocery store, sure, you're not going to be spending that much money on food, but they also sell gift cards as well. So you could buy gift cards there, maybe from Walmart, maybe Amazon, or any other store that you're going to use down the line. So that's always an option. You can really max out that category by buying up gift cards. And then the third offer they received at exactly the same time was $125 in statement credits on eligible purchases, totaling $2,000 for 3 months. Now keep in mind, once again, all these offers for this person were stackable. So in the end, they were able to achieve $800 in statement credits over the 3 months with just $5,625 in spend. Now, $5,625 in spend over the course of 3 months might be a lot of money for some people, but keep in mind, you're also going to be overpaying like your utility bill, for example, and you're going to have all these gift cards. So in the end, you're really going to be getting a pretty good discount in that case. So now that we went over the main features of this card at this point in time, we are going to go ahead and dive into the APR and fees, because of course this is also super important to consider as well. So starting out, your purchase APR is going to be a whopping 30.49%. Then as far as balance transfers go, with that it's going to be exactly the same as your purchase APR, also at 30.49%. So with that said, obviously it's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense to perform a balance transfer with this card. Considering the APR is as high as 30.49%, it's likely that the credit card you currently have that you might be paying a lot of interest on from a month-to-month basis is not going to be any higher than 30.49%. Then as far as cash advances go, on this channel we usually recommend to stay far away from cash advances. This of course should not be considered financial advice, just my own personal reasons. Usually with them you have a very high interest rate, plus you have to pay a lot of fees as well. But if you do decide to take out a cash advance with this card, just know that your APR on them is going to be a whopping 29.99% plus a lot of fees as well, which we are going to dive into right now. So as far as the fees go, starting out on the cash advance, you're going to have a fee of either $5 or 5% of the amount of each cash advance, whichever happens to be greater. Then as far as balance transfers go, on top of the 30.49% APR, you're also going to have a fee on each balance transfer of either $10 or 5% of the amount of each balance transfer, whichever happens to be greater. Then if you happen to travel abroad, this is a card you'll definitely want to leave at home, because if you do take it abroad and use it, you're going to be hit with a foreign transaction fee of 3%. There's also going to be a late payment fee on this card of up to $40. And finally, thankfully with this card, there is no annual fee, so you can keep it on a year-to-year basis and you won't have to pay a single dime for it. So obviously that's pretty advantageous as well. Okay, so now that we went over the main features of this card as well as the APR and fees, at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and dive into what I would consider to be the best things about this credit card and the worst things about this credit card. So we're going to start out with the pros of this credit card. The first thing is the fact that you can earn a spend bonus of up to $225 in statement credits if you spend at least $1,500 within the first 3 months of having this credit card. Once again, you are going to be earning a statement credit of $75 for every $500 that you spend within the first 3 months, of up to $225 in statement credits. Then you can also earn 5% cash back on gas, which is pretty solid all in all. You're also going to be able to receive 3% cash back at grocery stores and restaurants. Those three categories, of course, you can only earn those amounts on the first combined $10,000 each calendar year. And the last really big pro about this credit card is the offers that you can receive to your email, once again, like on utilities, or 10% back on gas, 20% back on gas, all the different offers that people have been receiving where they can really stack up those spend bonuses. that they can possibly be receiving. Then as far as the drawbacks go, the first drawback, of course, is that very high interest rate on your purchases. So you'll definitely want to make sure that your card is paid off on time. This is something we always recommend doing anyways, even if your APR is like below 5% or something like that, you definitely want to make sure that your card is always paid off in full. You're not paying any interest or fees. Then on top of that, the fact that your points can actually expire at the end of the quarter in the following year. So let's say that you have like 20,000 points that you have at the end of the first quarter that you earned. Well, those points are going to expire the following year, also at the end of the first quarter. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you redeem them. And the final con is the fact that you can only redeem these points pretty much only for gift cards or on your favorite brands through the Shop Your Way portal. So you cannot redeem them for like a credit to your bank account. You cannot redeem them for a cashback or a check in the mail, or for travel or any other benefit that's going to earn you even more points or even more value than what your points are worth. You're going to be pretty much stuck to using them for gift cards, but as long as you redeem them for gift cards that you'll use anyways, I really don't see too big of a drawback there. But just to sum things up here, all in all, I would say this is a credit card worth having. Between the $225 spend bonus, the 5% cashback on gas, and then all the targeted offers that you can potentially receive as well. You can definitely rack up a lot of cashback and rewards with this credit card, but ultimately that decision is going to be up to you. But that's all we have for today's review. I certainly hope you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like, consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.